Good morning, folks, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have a special edition today coming all the way from, yes, that's right, Chiang Mai in northwest Thailand. Here we are just going through Ta Proy Gate early in the morning, one of the famous landmarks in the old city. And here we are cruising a little bit further around the old city. As you can see, there's some cool graffiti around. It's a very quiet, sleepy place in the old city. I really like it. Really nice place to hang out with some great places to eat. In this video, I'll be giving my impressions of cycling here, from the food to the coffee to the temples to the gravel. As you can see, we'll be riding as we are here as well up in the mountains, so you'll get a flavor of some of the great roads. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. Thailand is famous for its food, and Chiang Mai too, and rightly so, and I've been eating great this past week. This food you can see just now, that cost me $5 for all of that. As you go around, there's all kinds of stuff you can eat. I would steer clear of the Western food, however, as you'll only be disappointed. But there are great places, such as this smoothie place, where you can get a really good granola bowl and a protein shake for about $1.20. Temples, you can't move for temples, honestly, they're everywhere. They're beautiful too, and they're all working temples. None of this is sort of for tourists. They're actually open for people. Most people here are Buddhist, and if you're into cultural stuff, you certainly won't be disappointed by Chiang Mai. There's lots to do in that sense. The temples are gorgeous, they're breathtaking. You can go inside, respect the local customs and take your shoes off and enjoy the peace. Always feel better after a few minutes inside one of these beautiful spaces. Now, I brought my gravel bike with me to Chiang Mai, although I couldn't really find if there was any good routes around. So what I basically did was I rode up into the mountains, and then I just found a little bit of this beautiful red road and I started riding. All of this stuff that you can see is actually on Google Maps, so it's a little bit difficult to get lost, which is great. The riding is absolutely brilliant. I didn't see any other bike tracks anywhere, and I had a great time up there. Now, a lot of these roads can get up to 20 to 25%, so I do recommend bringing a 34 rear cassette for the roads. Here I am in a place called Hmong Village, which is home to a tribe of native hill people. And the coffee craze has taken over here too, not surprisingly. There's about 4 cafes in this village of about 500 to 600 people. I went to one that was recommended by a friend, housed inside of a school of all places. What was cool about this place was that the kids were actually studying in the cafe, and they were super fascinated by a grown pink man wearing lycra, and I certainly seemed to amuse them no end. The coffee was great, and the view, despite the weather, was beautiful. You can cycle to several native hill tribe villages here in this area, and no doubt you get a great coffee and a very warm welcome too in all of them. Thai people are famously friendly, and I'd say even more so than usual up in Chiang Mai, where people are very laid back. Here we have Nun in the white top and Nut in the black, and they're leading me out to a group ride called the Soiton Club Ride. The group was about 50 riders strong, with some good strong riders, but the atmosphere was really relaxed. We had a really nice time, lots of laughing. I didn't really understand much of what was going on, but I still had a big smile on my face. They made me feel super welcome, and I just had a blast. And I tell you what, there's some cash up here in terms of the bikes. This Arium, for example, with its ceramic speed, aerodynamic rear derailleur fairing, a lot of rubbish if you ask me, but anyway, expensive. And this handsome Giant, as well as Colnagos, Pinarellos. And of course, here's my purple machine, the gravel bike, which suits me perfectly up here. cycling culture all over the world. Doesn't really matter where you go. It doesn't really change very much. Everybody, it seems, likes to stop for a good cup of coffee, and it's no different up in Chiang Mai. We dropped by this place called Coffee Terminal. It's a really huge place that doubles as a cyclist and a motorcycle cafe. It's a huge place, as I said, set in the jungle back from a main road. And even though, again, I couldn't understand much of the local lingo, I could pretty much take it for granted that everybody was talking bikes, and I'm certain that everyone was having a good time because it was smiles all around once again. And they have dogs too, and I'm a sucker, as you can see, for a Labrador. Even one that smells a bit.
Big and so stinky.
So stinky, you say?
Yeah.
The big boy was about 45 kilos, but as you can see, a puppy at heart. So cute.
Stinky.
Here we are on one of the famous local climbs, and more dogs. This is Doi Suthep, a great 11-kilometer climb that's just outside the city. It's about 6%, and it's loaded up with riders on the weekend. As you can see, there's some great views here as well.
Wow, look at this.
I was out with Noon again, and also
and there's
with
Chiang Mai.
De Sosa, who owns
Perfectly
a cafe,
captured with the sunlight, huh?
which doubles as a tour company called Cycling Chiang Mai.
What's this place?
Noisotep.
Doi Suthep. And this is just a normal...
This is the end of the most iconic climb, Noisotep. 11k, 6%. Last ramp, last couple of hairpins, as you saw, 14%.
The descents. One of the highlights of this trip has been the descents. The downhills are amazing. They're not very technical at all. Most of them are fast-flowing descents on wide roads with a great line of visibility that allows for high speeds. And as you're on the way into the corners, you can actually see the apex, so it's quite safe as well. This has been one of my, as I said, one of my favorite aspects of riding here so far. Fighting up these huge climbs. I did one the other day, 11% for 4 kilometers. That was painful. But yeah, the downhills make up for it. So yes, bring your climbing boots with you. To the east of the city it's mostly flat, but the real riding and the real beauty is up in the hills to the west. This section here is nearly 20%, and that's not unusual. And yes, of course, even though I was way up at about 2,500 meters and I was in the middle of nowhere, I found another cafe. It was a fantastic one as well. This is a very artfully crafted space that's suspended between two giant trees, and they have multiple outdoor platforms where you can enjoy the best long black I've ever tasted, and something called red cake. It was definitely cake and it was definitely red, so I suppose it was aptly named. Check the link at the bottom for the details of this coffee shop. Now here we are at Cycling Chiang Mai. Now this is Lewis's cafe. Lewis was good enough to take me out on my first day and introduce me to his friends, so I thought that we would finish up at the cafe. I got in touch with Lewis through his website, and you can find the link to that at the bottom of this video too.
So we just had my first ride in Chiang Mai, up to
Doi Suthep.
Doi Suthep, which was a nice gentle 11 kilometers straight off the plane. Well, I did have a night's sleep, but that was quite a good wakener.
Yeah, 6% climb is the local climb closer to Chiang Mai.
Yeah.
It's always full of cyclists.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
It was nice. And I'm sitting here with
Luis
De
Sosa.
and he is the owner of
Cycling Chiang Mai.
Cycling Chiang Mai. Can you explain a little bit what Cycling Chiang Mai is?
Yeah, so our concept is we are a cycling tour company. Our mission is just to show people how great this area, not only Chiang Mai, but the whole north of Thailand, Chiang Rai and beyond. And so we organize tour package just for cycling, road cycling for now, but we pretend to expand to gravel in the future. And we also have, I would say this is the first cycling cafe in Chiang Mai. We only open for 1 year, but there's not a single specific cycling cafe. I think we are best. Yeah.
And what are your three recommended rides here? So I think Doi Suthep is one.
Yeah, just if you have 3 days in Chiang Mai, the first one is Doi Suthep, it's a must, and if you have some legs, you can keep going until Doi Pui. It's a 20 kilometers all category climb. Second one will be the famous Hmong loop, 90k loop up and down all the time. You get like 1,500 meters of elevation.
Okay.
And the third one, and that's a must, right to the roof, to the highest point of Thailand, is called Doi Suthep.
Internal.
You get up to 2,565 meters above sea level. It's the highest point in the country, and there are also some crazy gradients, like 20 to 30%.
Okay. Well, I'll be tackling that in a couple of days, so we'll see how that goes. I'd just like to say thank you, Lewis, for the ride today and the hospitality. If ever you come to Chiang Mai, cycle in Chiang Mai, great riding, great people, and great coffee as well.
I was just thinking to myself, I haven't seen an elephant yet, and I turn around the corner and guess what? Sorry, Cap. Well, that's it, folks. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. And if you did enjoy the video, please like and please subscribe. That'd be great. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you with some footage of me and my friend Nun riding around Chiang Mai in the golden hour.